directors the Emmy-nominated Falcon and the Winter Soldier when Don Cheadle
That's
got
right.
an Emmy nomination for the one scene he showed up in.
Don Cheadle got Emmy nominated for that?
He's literally just shows up and he's like, "Hey, what's up, Falcon?"
we're integrating the Looney Tunes into your crime fighting.
All right. So, welcome to another brand new Unsourced. Well, we're back again. We're halfway through the series, the official midpoint. Number 6, Children of Corn 666. Very corny, very gimmicky. I don't like that. Isaac's Return. John Franklin pushed for his grand triumphant return to the franchise after missing for 4 movies. 4 movies happened about Isaac. It's insane. But he's back.
Finally,
he's back. That's all he is. You know what?
My loved ones, my friends and family, they keep on asking me. They're like, Rollo Tony, when is Isaac coming back? When is he going to return? We miss him so much. He's a great hang.
Somehow Isaac has returned.
Somehow.
But you know, it's a really great. He must have a really great pull because he's on the poster, he's in the title, he got a story by credit, and he's like, and you know what? All of that, and he's in like 3 scenes. It's amazing.
The poster, by the way, I will say is one of the better posters.
It's very enigmatic. I was excited.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, especially like after the one for movie 4, you know, like with just like a random kid, you know, like where this is actually kind of cool, right? Like it sets up some it sets your expectations a little higher than, I don't know, than normally.
He looks like Joe Pesci a little bit on the poster.
He does.
Yeah, just me.
Dumb fucking kids, gonna fucking kill him with a scythe. Fucking kids.
You think I'm corny? How? Like a cob?
Yeah, exactly. In what way do I husk?
I have had it with these motherfucking kids and this motherfucking corn.
Oh my
I just
God.
imagine like his subordinates, they like lead him to a cornfield and it's empty, and then he who walked behind the road kills him yet again.
You know what? I gotta say, you know what? Let's get to point number 1. The elephant in the room. Isaac is canonically, I think, in his like early 30s in this movie, and
no way.
They said 19 years ago, right? Don't they timestamp it?
Exactly, 19 years ago, and he was like 12, 13 at most in the first movie. So he's like 31, 32. Even though the actor is like 50 in all holiness. You know, he pulls it off well. He's like, again, Eva and Evilnakis. He's amazing. But
like, just to kind of build off what we were saying about the cover, right? Like, I feel like the people who work at Dimension, who have the rights for this film series now, they probably had a very similar conversation to the conversations we've been having over and over again, which is like, what is the Children of the Corn? Like, what makes it? And how can we kind of like keep it interesting as we enter our 6th film? And we'll talk about how like Isaac himself was a large contributing factor for this very film existing, but I do get the impression that they're trying to like figure out what makes this franchise a franchise, and it is telling that they actually did go out of their way to make sure that it was within continuity with that first film, getting those rights back so they can call it Gatlin.
Yes.
And they can say he who walks behind the room.
Yes. Oh my God. It's like Kamen Rider. I don't know if you know about this one. Kamen Rider came back in like the 2000s. They couldn't call it the character in the show Kamen Rider, or they were like, not that they couldn't, but they didn't want to. They're like, or a new reboot. So like 3 whole Kamen Rider seasons, they just call him like Armored Rider or Husky Rider, some shit like that. Wait, like some bullshit. And then like Drive, whatever one who's a race car driver or some shit. They call him a Kamen Rider in the show again. It's like, why were there like 3 scenes where they just couldn't call him that in the fucking show? It's ridiculous. But yeah, you're right. It's shocking. Anyway, first impressions. Let's get this. I'll give them first point. He's 32. They never once in this fucking movie bring up the fact that he's an adult and what that means.
Yep.
At all. I just want to get that ripped up Band-Aid off. And we're wonder how that's gonna play into things. Not a bit. Ever.
They don't call attention to it, which is very strange. And it should be strange because I think what the film's trying to say is that he is still 12 years old. I think that they're trying to convey that he's in stasis somehow, but he's so clearly different now. Like
So clearly a 50-year-old man.
I didn't get that at all. That he wasn't
I
supposed to
didn't
have
either.
age.
I mean, he's a dad. He's like literally.
That makes his relationship with his child
Right.
bride, who's now an adult, really much more weird. Because that's his wife, right? The
Mhm.
sheriff.
Yeah, presumably. I mean, they never really delve into when and how and like why she is still alive. I mean, really, if you think about it, like we're saying it's in continuity, but it's a very loose continuity. If you think, right?
yeah.
I mean, look, in the first movie, like Isaac was like basically right, like he was on the cross. He kind of got like consumed or something. Then he was a zombie. Right. Last time we saw him,
Then
he was a
exploded.
zombie. Yeah, like I mean, he exploded and then he became a zombie.
He's
and
fine.
Then, right, and now it's like here he somehow got checked into a mental hospital.
It's a
like
coma. Okay.
Yeah, in a coma, and it's like, wait a second. So they had a functioning. No, wait, they had a functioning hospital, not a mental hospital, even though it looks a lot like a mental hospital. But
this is what a lot of people get wrong about zombies, right? Like you watch zombie movies and it's always like, oh, you got to shoot them in the head. No. Zombies, it's about reformation, right? So that's what we were watching, actually. You know, they took the zombie and they turned it back into a conscious human. That's what happened.
You know what? he had his, God gave him a second chance, and he squandered it. That's why the 666 is there.
That's it.
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't take place around 666, like it's supposed to be around Halloween, right? Which also doesn't matter.
I don't. I was there like a calendar somewhere?
They mentioned to Hannah, they're like, "Oh, your birthday's coming up, Halloween or something."
October 31.
Was the original set during Halloween then?
Was it?
It wasn't set during Halloween, but I think it was probably
all
kind of.
vibes.
Yeah, I think it was
That's just the
there
corn.
thematically. Okay,
That's
but
just the
also
corn.
okay, wait. But also I have one little theory here about the whole 666 thing, because I do believe that just a few years before that, the same company released Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. And originally that movie was supposed to be called Halloween 666, the something of like the origin of Michael, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm wondering if maybe some of the like the 666 thing and the October 31st date were maybe, I don't know, like in jokes or allusions to that whole thing,
I can buy that. Dimension is like so just it's very incestuous, creativity wise. I can believe it.
I'll also be like a bit more like abstract, right? Like we're talking about a movie that's coming out in like 1999, and around this period, exactly, the new millennium's coming, and people are talking about like Y2K, and there's a lot of people talking about like the end of the world and things lining up in order for
end of days.
Antichrist, yeah.
Exactly. That's what the obsession with 666 is.
No, you're right, because the Schwarzenegger movie with Gabriel Byrne as the devil, right? End of Days, that came out, right? And they were literally, oh wait, if you turn 666 upside down, it's 999. That's why
that's the real number.
Yes, that's exactly how they explain it. Like the Gregorian calendar was backwards or upside down, and he goes into like, but that didn't even exist back during biblical times, bro. And whatever, that movie rocks. It's the most heartbreaking performance, I love Arnie in that one.
Spoken like somebody who's never seen Maggie.
No, the zombies, they're so played out. Anyway, Children of the Corn 666. First impressions, go around the table. We vamped enough. Mikhail, what did you think about 666?
It was a real letdown. I was kind of hoping for something more. I had seen this film a very long time ago. I think it was playing on TV. Or maybe a basic cable channel that we had at the time. And I don't know, I remembered select parts of that movie, but I don't think I had ever seen it in its entirety. And watching it now, it was just like, wow, it's, again, potentially interesting ideas, but no real, it often feels like nothing happens. Like I would say stuff happens, but it doesn't feel like anything really happens. And John Franklin feels wasted in this role. I mean, he has nothing to do except maybe, like have like one or two I don't know, one or two good scenes maybe, or just I like seeing him on screen. I feel like he brings a certain I don't know. He has a certain
Gravitas.
yeah, exactly. Like there's just something about him, right? Like he kind of like he kind of like anchors things a little bit, but he doesn't really have that many scenes, and he doesn't have a lot of great like great monologues or sermons or anything like that. So you, so that was again that was just that was disappointing. I think that there is maybe one really good scene in the film, and I think we'll talk about that later. I will say though, stylistically, I think this movie is an interesting blend between Children 4 and Children 5, right? Because we talked about how Children 4
Right.
seemed to, yeah, like it was like all vibes and dreamlike
Yes.
shit, right? And the fifth movie, it was way more it was way more plotting, way more dimension, scream like, and this film
Yes.
seems to split the difference.
There is a bit more of a whodunit kind of mystery going on, which I appreciate. But Tony, first impressions, Children of Corn 6.
I'm going to repeat a lot of the things that you just said there, but at the same time, I feel as though I might be the most positive on this movie of the collection of us, but not like I'm not defending this movie at all. I'm not going to, right? What I will say is that the director of this film, Kari Skoglund, I feel as though they got this script thrown in their lap and they're like, I'm going to at least try to do some things and have some fun with this. And there are moments within the first 30 minutes of this movie where I was like, holy shit, am I watching a real movie? And then it becomes a total slog and terrible. And it gets to the point where, before we were looking at Children of the Corn 3 as like, oh, this is like the pinnacle of both cheese and enjoyment, right? And it could be so bad it's good. I'm watching this movie going like, I wish we could go back to 4 because this movie is trying to do a tonal thing. It's trying to be more serious minded. But in the end, it feels like it's too cheap to do what it wants to accomplish. It doesn't have the gravitas of any other horror franchise. Like I would say Phantasm. This feels like Phantasm 4, but with no emotional resonance because like Phantasm 4, there's no budget, right? But they're able to still find emotional resonance just through whatever they can do. And also similar to Phantasm 4, this movie is really dark, and I'm not saying dark in a thematic lens. I'm talking about from like a visual standpoint. This movie is always pitch black with barely any light in it, and it becomes very hard to like actually engage with it. And it's actually hard to watch. It's doing this somber, sleepy, drifting tonal thing, and then when it actually does get to, in quotations, important exposition, it's either so boring or so gross that I don't care. And to make it all worse, we don't get like a giant monster at the end.
Nope.
Yeah, it's a big old
a
letdown.
90s white guy is a giant monster to me. Okay. Glad he went extinct.
He turns into the fucking magician from VHS Viral, and then that's the end of the movie.
Exactly.
Here's the funny thing, right? Like this movie weirdly enough doesn't have anything in the way of creative kill scenes. I mean the previous few films, they really got into
people
like
got killed in this one for a second. Like, wait, no, he died and he died.
The most creative kill in this movie is somebody choosing to just fall on a scythe.
Yeah.
Oh, that was really good. Because that felt like very. I was kind of sad. Like.
Did you like the music that was playing?
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I was like, did the radio turn off for a second? I was like, wait, is this like a bootleg copy or some shit? Like, no way, there's this needle drop, man. Oh my god!
Yeah, the bootleg question is great because it does sound like like somebody's friend decided to like put their friend's band on the tape or whatever.
The level
like,
is so bad.
It just feels like it's out of nowhere. And also, just on that note, the ADR in this movie is insane. I don't know if you guys are paying attention to that.
A couple of slip-ups.
A couple. This movie is almost entirely ADR, and it's almost never convincing to me.
Okay, there was only a few times. I like Madam Web, so that shit just flies by my fingers, man.
I didn't notice that exactly, but definitely something weird happening with the just sometimes the way that it's cut together.
Yeah,
it's just like
a lot of finishing conversations while in a weird angle. Kind of shit.
The first 30 minutes of this movie almost give off a Carnival of Souls impression. You almost imagine that this is just like, oh, she's gonna wander into this town, everybody's gonna be fucking nuts to her, and like like the prophecy that we keep on hearing about is gonna be withheld until the very end. But then we start doing this thing where it's like, we gotta show you, we got Isaac, he's back, he's in his bed right here,
and he got to explain everything.
Yeah, he's like just gonna plainly tell you.
Let's Doug. First impressions, and then we'll get to that part because that's a pretty good part to get into.
The critics put out the hit. Go see Children of the Corn 666 before Unsourced Fall Radio tells you not to have fun. No, this is. I mean, there's been some real turds, like 5 and 2 were really bad, but this one, like, my eyes just kept drifting off the screen. Like, it could not. Even if I was trying to okay, they're going for somewhat like a vibey thing like 4, which I appreciate the effort in that one, but I was like, oh, I can't latch on to like anything here. I mean, and there's like no character. Even when Nancy Allen shows up, the great Nancy Allen, I'm like, oh,
I
great.
couldn't believe it.
I didn't know she was in this. Like they always have like some overqualified actress that
I was wondering too, like, wait a minute, was Phil and Terry the last one? No, Nancy Allen pops out of nowhere.
And the fact that she's playing Rachel, but then also that, like we said before, that there's not in continuities in very loose quotation marks, because it doesn't really feel interested in squaring that circle of like what could be an interesting arc of like, okay, someone who was in a cult had like lost their husband, and then like their child was supposed to be part of a thing. Like that could have been interesting, but they don't really. I mean, and none of this is Nancy Allen's fault. Like she can't like write a new script, so like she can only do with what they're giving her.
As evidenced by RoboCop 3. Sorry, go ahead.
You know what they should have done when they explained that she was Rachel? Should have shown a flashback to when Bert fucking punched her in the face.
There should have been Matrix Resurrection style flashbacks, but yeah, they with her getting punched
and left her dead in that car. Was she pregnant at the time that happened? Then
she had to have been, because we see the husband walk into the corn and die. But again, like that's
we don't see him die.
Oh, we just see him walk into the corn. Isn't there like lightning that comes out of it?
And then she mentions that he in this one he died. And that's pretty sweet though, that she was like one painting like the pentagram on his chest though. So that's nice.
Maybe. Wait a minute. I've got it. Okay, so her whole personality change and everything.
She got brain damage.
Yes, it happened because Bert like punched her like in the face. Right?
Yeah.
He punched the 18-year-old little girl in the face who was pregnant.
Yeah, but that
what a monster.
But that completely knocked all of the belief out of her. Like she like regained her sanity.
Someone should do that to Fetterman. Anyway,
Fetterman, snap him back. Get him back to normal.
Put Bert on the case here. Anyway,
yeah, they should have brought Bert back. That's the legacy sequel we need. That's Return of Bert.
Yeah. Get Nat Wolf and everyone back into this as well. Make it a family affair because he was in those things apparently.
I mean, like I for some reason I had this weird idea that the movie would have featured the like what's her name, like those two kids that Bert and Vicky found. Like I thought one of them was going to come back in this one.
That would make sense.
You know what upset me? Not one mention of Germany in this movie.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for that to come back. And by the way, I was sitting and stewing on this thought, and I've just realized the next Children of the Corn movie should be called German of the Corn. There you go.
Yes, Germans.
Scary.
But to your point, Tony, what you said about them trying to figure out what a Children of the Corn movie is, I think it's interesting how this one really does try to bring back a lot of I don't know what we have associated with these movies, right? Like, I mean, from the very opening frames, you've got the corn, you've got like a killing in the corn, right? Like you've got like something of a bit of a choral, like music that I don't think ever comes back in the movie, sadly.
No.
No,
not even the
we
original
get we get audio modulated children laughing, when you see them in the cornfields. Sometimes, you'll get like just like voice pitched and altered instead. That's the only version of choral chanting we get.
And it's a shame because, like, I'm starting to lose faith that we're gonna ever hear it again. I'm starting to lose faith because like, that'd be a shame. If we never
What if
hear
the
it again.
remake brings it back?
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I was gonna say.
It has to. Okay, you're going for the nostalgia play. You have to do it.
Come on, Kurt Wimmer. Don't let us down.
Don't betray us like Don Franklin did.
I can hear the dice rattling in your guys' hands. I'm like trying to pull you away from the table. I'm like, you've already spent so much money. No,
some cost fallacy. I can win it all back, and then so.
The children choir hasn't let me down yet. Anyway, so 6. Okay, so my two pieces of this is that it's fine. It's not fine. It's maybe my least favorite one in terms of story and scope, because Final Sacrifice had a story that was not boring. It was terrible, nonsensical, ridiculous, racist, but it wasn't boring to watch. And Isaac Returns is, like you mentioned, it feels like two different movies. It feels like a kind of slower, more suspenseful, focused or central aiming kind of film. It does feel like The Gathering, where it's like vibes based, where everything is like more moody, more stripped down, a little bit more intimate in terms of what the character is going through. And then that's like the first 20 minutes, and then we just kind of abandon that for probably just really, really corny and goofy dialogue about prophecy and child brides and getting an 18-year-old pregnant before midnight. And it's like, this is bad. This is just bad and boring. And it's very 90s. It's like, once again, we're following tradition of Field of Terror, where we're not even following kids anymore. We're following like teens that are like wearing H&M Gap clothes. It's like, what are we doing here? Isaac is...
Well, this is a proper legacy sequel. This is The Force Awakens.
Yes, exactly. It is The Force Awakens.
Oh my god! What I will say is that I do like how the kids are implemented only as cheap scares in this movie. Like you see a kid in the background, you're like, oh no, there's the kids. Hence it's Children of the Corn, and then on that level also, like the thing about the first Children of the Corn was that we saw so much of, in quotations, both sides, and at least in this film's conceit, it at least understands that we should stick with one person and try to follow them as much as possible. But the Isaac stuff kind of betrays that.
Yes, exactly. Because like I feel like they were stuck. They had Isaac back, so we need to have Isaac. Give Isaac some voice in the film. But the most interesting stuff that is very quickly abandoned is the stuff that's most like the adult kind of things from the original film, where like I thought that was unintentionally strong. It doesn't feel like they had much purpose or much vision within the first film. But what I liked, and I think I mentioned it, was, Bert and Vicky exploring this kind of really empty, vast expanse of this town. Like, it's very kind of claustrophobic, even though there's a lot of places they're exploring. And it's the same thing with Hannah here, except like it kind of just gets muddled because there's a bunch of really, really bad, like Twin Peaks wannabe people talking to her. And it's like, I don't care. I wish there was less people. You save yourself the money, get rid of half the cast, and suddenly that stuff becomes a lot stronger. That's my suggestion.
You weren't a fan of the police officer who I just kept on calling not Tasha Leone?
I was gonna call her not Reba McEntire.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just say though that this film's incarnation of Gatlin looks nothing like the Gatlin that we had before. It doesn't even look abandoned. I mean, the way that they play it off here is that it somehow remained like a functioning town, complete with a sheriff's department, with an adult doctor who now looks, old enough to be like a grandfather, basically. You
Yeah,
know
so
what I
he
mean?
was a child of one of the children. Like they kept saying everyone in the town. That's the deal. But like he's a grown ass man, like a
Maybe he was like the
grandpa,
teacher. Maybe he was like the teacher.
and he just stayed
And
in town but wasn't
yeah,
killed.
yeah, or like you might like, or maybe he left temporarily and then came back.
Yeah, I gotta get out of here. And like, actually, all my stuff's still in Gatlin.
Yeah, like
It's also
everyone's dead
important.
now.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, like everyone's dead now, so I moved back.
I was just gonna say this is like the third one in a row now that's just been solely made in Los Angeles, right? Like even the three was predominantly made in Los Angeles. So it just like at this point, yes, it's Children of the Corn. They're trying to figure out what makes this franchise work. But one of the core issues with all of these films since they stopped shooting in rural parts of America have been that these movies feel geographically strange. And this one in particular, because of the visual language, it's shot all on long lenses. It's actually very hard to know where you are in this movie.
Yeah.
Like every environment, every setting is very like ill explained or explored. Like whenever we're indoors and we're not in a cornfield, I'm like, what is this place? Is Isaac still in the hospital? Is he in a house? Is she in a hospital? Is she in an
Are they in a
alley?
factory?
Yeah, and they're in a factory that's pretending to be a hospital. Is she still in a motel? It's hard. Whenever everyone's indoors, like they could be anywhere, man. At least when they're in the cornfield, I know they're in the fucking cornfield. But everywhere else, it's a dice roll, man. I can barely tell.
The only time it felt intentional is when she first arrives to the institution, where she's seeing like glimpses of girls running by, where I'm like, oh, they're trying to disorient our sense of like place and time, like she's getting disoriented, but they like immediately drop that idea. So like it's not like there's any intentionality for the rest of the movie being like, where are we?
Well, Doug, I think that there was that intentionality there, especially in the visual language. I think that they were consistent with that in the visual language. The problem is that the narrative wasn't, right? Like it loses its focus in being that, which was actually the most promising element of the film up until that point, right? And also speaking to that level of disorientation that happens in this movie, I want to talk about like right early on, right? Because we are introduced to like the protagonist as they're driving down the road and they accept a hitchhiker, right? Because their car's broken down. And the reason I want to get to this is because obviously you have these long lenses capturing her driving down the road, picking this guy up, but then there's the shot with a crane as they're driving down the road, and it's able to like come down and pan around, right? Like it's doing like stuff that Spielberg was doing in like Sugarland Express, but we're watching a Dimension straight to DVD film, right? And it's a situation where you can tell that there is a commitment to a visual language, but it doesn't feel as though the story is 100% backing it up.
No, you're 100% right. Like that. You're right. She gets scenes actually one of the better executed scenes overall.
Actually, before we get to that quickly, I just wanted to finish off that point. One more thing too. When they did that, they had that crane, right? Going over this, right? This is actually an issue I had with it. It had a long lens, right, on the inside of the car, on the guy's Bible, and then was coming down to show her driving. And clearly you could tell by the way that it was shot that they were actually driving. Clearly you could tell that all of the people were there, but the shot was so poorly captured because the lens was just slightly too long. You couldn't really capture, you couldn't see everybody. You had to kind of like make up for it in your mind a little, so it's like conceptually it worked, but it just wasn't great in execution because it was so whole hog into that visual language, which is representative of that larger issue. Sorry to ramble, go ahead.
No, it's perfectly fine because I think this scene off the bat is, I thought, a little bit more promising than whatever comes after, because it does feel a little more dusky. It does feel a little bit more kind of surreal because she gets this hitchhiker who's a traveling preacher who then obviously goes onto a little bit of a screed about he walks behind the roads, and turns out he didn't exist as she was imagining him, and she got run off the road. And it's played like this really kind of eerie vision, and it's kind of weirdly sexual tinged kind of thing. He's like saying you're gonna get pregnant no matter what, and it's like it's very odd, and there's lots of quick cuts, and it's very frantic, and I really enjoyed that. It does have this very kind of tension of violence, and it's like, oh, I don't know where this is gonna go. And then little kid laughing behind some corn stalks.
It kind of also sets up the the motif of her crashing her car like throughout the movie.
Yep. Just shows that that's like her weakness, right? Also, it's important to note that this hitchhiker that they pick up, right? I didn't know this until I looked up like facts about the movie, but apparently that's the only other actor who was in another Children of the Corn film.
He was in the last one, right?
Exactly. Yeah, he was a bar patron at the bar that they went to.
And he was in Fire.
That was him.
Yeah, he was in Fire. He's the evil.
From shitty Twin Peaks, Deer Meadow. Like he's the sheriff of that town in Fire.
Oh wait, that was the sheriff in Fire Walk with Me?
Yes.
Oh,
when they go to Deer Meadow,
and he
the
has
one who bends the steel bar.
The iron bending.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He was also in Bubble Boy, and he was also
classic
in Holes. This reminded me a lot of Holes, honestly.
Holes color grading a little bit.
Exactly. But yeah, I know. So this all, he was in Species too. All right. But anyway, clearly he's giving it his all, and I applaud him.
I mean, I wanted more of him because when he's gone throughout the movie, he has more presence than Isaac even has in this movie. So I was like, oh, is that guy coming back? He seemed they give him a name, Zachariah. So I was like, oh, well, he's like lore important or something, right? No, I don't think so.
I think there's a tension there. There's a tension, and there's like a very kind of aggressive tone there that's not present mostly throughout the rest of the movie.
That's definitely true. Like he has an unsettling presence, right? And I think in narrative terms, I think he functions is that you guys like have seen Cabin in the Woods, right? So they talk about the fact that you need kind of a creepy guy in the beginning who talks like cryptically about constantly I forgot
the Harbinger.
The Harbinger. So he's like a Harbinger type character. And in and of itself, that works very nicely. Although I am kind of disappointed that I could have sworn maybe there was like a newspaper somewhere where they had an image of him later on, maybe in that whole archive thing. But he never actually makes another appearance.
Isn't there a scene where she's like, whose car is that? And then doesn't the guy answer, oh, that's like Zachariah, the Reverend or something's car?
No, that's her mom's car.
Oh, that's her mom's. Never mind. Okay.
They should have done. They should have had the old guy turn to be like the young guy at the end in disguise.
Yeah, like he who walks behind the road. Like, I mean, because he has that level of menace where it's like if he had been like the final boss, like that would kind of be a more satisfying. I mean, the end still we'll get to the ending, but like he would have had some presence there.
I'm not sure what could have fixed that ending where we get there, but when it comes
to all this dialogue, that's how you fix that ending.
Yeah, but the thing with this here is that it's so aggressive and in your face, but it does such a great job in alienating our protagonist, and it instantly endears us to her going through something traumatic and being like, "What's going on?" Like the visual language is matching the disorientation, so it all together it actually does feel consistent and coherent. And then we're also we're getting these visions of Isaac with a light behind him in silhouette, and you're like, oh, where is he? And I think that all of that stuff is actually kind of effective in terms of bringing us along for her journey and letting us feel what she's feeling in those moments. There is that creepy element of that guy saying those things, and then also that's a consistent thing throughout this film. And it was an issue that was something that became the focus, but then it was also it feels like it was baked into whatever concept unfortunately Franklin had.
I'm not sure at what level Franklin wanted to take the thematics there, but I do agree that what's her name, Natalie Ramsey, who plays Hannah in this film, she does do a great job sort of selling the uncertainty and worry about being a young girl in an unknown part of the world, because even characters like Stacy Keach's character, who's the doctor, the only doctor. We have another second movie where there's only one fucking doctor.
It's like an old
yeah.
It's like poetry.
Exactly. But and even then, even with like some people characters who are more sort of reliable on her side, it's like, there is that underlying threat, that is kind of assailing her, and then that's good. I think she pulled up really a lot of grace and a lot of tension. So I think that she does a great job. But the next scene is when she meets Stacy Keach, who is like, I moved back to the town and I stayed here. Someone had to look after all the kids, and I'm not sure what role he necessarily plays in this at all, other than just being like a doctor.
Because he gets like too into the exam when she's like, any of the kids have kids or something, and then he like grabs her face and is like in a really weird way, and I'm like, oh, so is he? Like everyone in town seems like they're in on the prophecy, but then also he gets dispatched of, so it's like Isaac. I maybe just because they did, like, Isaac's got to do something, so he's gonna kill the guy.
That's the first kill in the movie too, right? Like nothing had happened up until that point, and it was him that got killed. Was like the way that this thing starts. I don't know.
I just don't understand. Like, why did he need, other than the movie needed something to happen? If why did he need to die if he's in on it and helping the prophecy, or is he not? Like,
so here's the thing. Apparently, he like. I mean, apparently Isaac thought that the doctor tried to undermine the prophecy or whatever was going on there. Like, he's the reason why the girl, after she was born, got sent, disappeared like from the town.
Oh, right. Okay.
So I think that's actually, in hindsight, why he grabbed her face like that, because he realized that she must be Rachel's daughter. Like, he was sort of looking at her.
She's back.
Yeah, so I think he probably needed to get like a closer look at her face to see, wait a minute, okay, I see the resemblance or something.
I feel like there's better ways of doing that, maybe like, I would even support like, getting a magnifying glass if you need to, like,
or just do a blood test. You're a doctor, right? I don't know.
Well, this is the thing also.
It's a giant hospital. There's a lab here somewhere.
Yeah, but look, here's the thing, right? They need everybody to be like kind of weird and threatening and really creepy and stuff, right? On the one, I mean, everybody is like that way to her. I mean, even the sheriff who pops up kind of almost out of nowhere, we have that disorientation, right? In the beginning, but like everybody needs to act like a creep on the one hand, and on the other, this character. I mean, I don't know. I guess like I like Stacy Keach in this in this movie, to be honest. Like I just feel like it's weird that he's probably one of the more likable locals. But then look, the problem is everybody is in on it except for her. Our main character knows the least of what everybody else knows, and that's like a huge storytelling problem, because then it's like you're kind of wait. So when is she going to catch up with all of this stuff? Okay, like nobody wants to tell her anything.
And by proxy, right? Because not only are we privy to what the people who are in charge are doing, right? Now we are ahead of the person that we're supposed to be most sympathetic of, right? So rather than us being endeared to them, we now see them as stupid. We now see them as, oh, you are foolish because you didn't understand that this could be the outcome, because I know those things, but you don't, right? That's like a common thing that can happen when a horror movie is just bad, right? And I feel like this one has that major issue where, because this is actually a bigger question, right? Because Stacy Keach, I agree with you too, that like, I love him, I'm not exactly surprised he's here, but I'm glad that he is, but that being said, the question has to be asked, is Isaac returning something that's so important that we need to put it on the poster and have him take up half the movie? Like maybe he's only for the end.
Because he has nothing to do. Well, he doesn't even have anything to do at the end. But I was going to say, right? Like, if you save him till the end, then maybe you could justify it. But like maybe make Isaac himself, instead of Hannah's womb being the MacGuffin of the prophecy, maybe make Isaac himself more central to like what is important for this to be fulfilled, and so like you like hold off.
He's an easy fix. Instead of the whole sexual violence kind of undertone of this, have it be that Isaac was in a coma and the last person he walked around the road possessed was him. So like maybe it's trapped and he's in a coma, so it's trapped too, and they're trying to wake him up. To
It's
wake
at
him
war
know,
with himself.
I personally think that okay, I believe that when I first found out about this movie years back, I think my expectation from the title was that Isaac had would have been literally resurrected. And that's again like something that I think I kind of wanted to see happen this time around. And again, it was very disappointed when it didn't happen because I think in the first movie Isaac died, right? Like he kind of
blew up.
yeah, he blew up, then kind of became back
Became a
slightly as
a
a charred
zombie.
up possessed zombie, right? So wouldn't it have been wouldn't it be more interesting if in this movie he literally resurrected, and
Right.
like I mean that would tie everything into the whole religious thing, and he could start like I don't know, like a new cult or whatever, because like he is living proof of, I don't know, he who walks behind the rose, whatever.
You're absolutely right, because the title is a lie. Isaac didn't return, right? Isaac's right there. You could like see him. He's laying down, right? Like he didn't
Yeah.
go anywhere, right? The idea of Isaac returning is false because the
never
concept
left.
is just exactly he
He
never
never
left.
left.
So in order for it to meet this expectation that we have, it literally needs to be a reveal. It needs to be, we're working towards Isaac coming back, right? He needs to be like Pinhead. He needs to be, like Jason, right?
Yeah.
If that's what they're going to do in terms of like making Children of the Corn a series, a slasher series.
Yeah, you know what? You're right, because Isaac Return, right, is not so much the hook of this movie. It's just something that happens inside it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like that's not what this should have been. And what it is kind of interesting, but then it gets hampered because we have to. I hate to say it. We have to waste time with Isaac.
Yeah.
And like that shouldn't be how this is. Like we should be relishing Isaac being back, but instead it feels like he's in the Bert and Vicky role, where instead of doing like anything interesting, we're sort of just padding it out. And Hannah is going on this kind of surreal, kind of claustrophobic, intimate adventure that is kind of weakened because we know the end result of that adventure. Oh, she has to get pregnant. My son is like the chosen one. Like, who gives a crap, man? Who cares?
I mean, I think the bigger issue is that our main character is highly passive. Like a lot of stuff happens, but not really because she makes it happen. It just kind of happens like around her, right? I don't think like even at the very end of the movie, she has an opportunity to do something truly important, and she just chooses not to do anything. You know what I'm saying?
The only way to win is not to play.
I'm a radical centrist. I don't believe in anything, so therefore I'm the morally superior one.
I pressed the red button. Okay, if everyone pressed the red button, everyone would live. I don't understand. People don't understand that. I'm sorry, that's not gonna make any sense to anyone listening to this in like 5 years. Anyway, all right. So let's go on to the next part. Okay, so she's at the hospital and she keeps seeing visions of Amish kids that maybe exist or maybe don't exist. It's not really made clear. And then a crazy guy named Jake kind of accosts her. And it's like, you're the only one who can stop this. And I have a theory, okay, that in the original pitch for this, because otherwise Jake is a character that means nothing, has no impact, doesn't need to be in the movie at all, and he basically has no other relevance. I think that maybe he was meant to be a brain damaged Malachi.
Ooh,
that would have been way more interesting. Yeah,
because like that by default back,
his hair needed to be a lot more red if that were to happen.
I feel like
no, but I agree.
Pitch, like we can't get the Malachi guy back, so we're just gonna.
You could just say he's Malachi, though. It doesn't matter. Like these movies don't need that strong connective tissue. Just be like, yeah, that's the guy. You remember him?
Because
I would have taken a wig.
Yeah, me too. But I think that makes more sense. I think that does make sense to like why he's trying to be really proactive about. I think out of every character of stopping the prophecy. Even though, like, what does it matter to him? What is his role in this town? Why does everyone seem to acknowledge, but also not acknowledge that he's around?
Why is there always homeless people who are like moving the plot forward and children?
Why does anything happen in this town? You know, I mean, like it's like why is Gatlin still around? Like you had this mass murder happen, and now it's like, oh, I guess like the children had the children, and they rebuilt civilization there, and everybody in the wider world is just cool with it. Oh yeah, Gatlin, you know, that town where all the kids murdered their parents a long time ago. Yeah, let's go. You know, like let's go be tourists over there or something.
I do like the undercurrent, or at least the attempt at undercurrent, that all these kids are now like adults, like having parts in this town. Like one of the kids is, you know, the sheriff, and then one of their kids is running the motel. So it's like this like lost generation that's grown up. But again, it's not something that's ever developed. If there was less Isaac, I would have preferred we see like her move around the town, meeting all these weirdly young people, like really like 20 somethings running like a travel agency or the school or the courthouse, something like that, showing like that there's these kids that basically have been play acting being adults for like 19 years, something like that. But you know, we don't get the chance to see anything like that because it's very small, you know, and that's a shame.
It's the thing that we've been joking about this entire time, where it's like the less budget you have, the less children you're going to have because of how expensive that is. And we're really at the point where it's like they do not have a child on set unless they really need one. And it's a situation that I think can work. I don't think that necessarily like a Children of the Corn movie needs to have all of its horror come from the children moving the thing forward. It can be just about cultists. It can be about something coming for the next generation, what have you. But in this one, it just does feel like it's about Isaac, right? Like it just does fully transition into his story. But then also when it's revealed what his plot, like his place in the story is, it makes him seem pathetic. Yeah. Which is bizarre. You know, it's like why bring him back for that? And we'll get to that.
It could have been any random Children of the Corn antagonist.
Right, exactly.
And like it's nothing that's specific to Isaac. And I'm sorry, but Isaac having like a 90s, you know, teen kid is just disgusting to me.
Like, I like that he was sassy. I like that
his kid should not know MTV.
Yeah, why has he got a TV around anyways? You know, like I would have.
How did they have TVs?
Yeah, exactly. I didn't see that any TVs in the first movie. That's against continuity right there.
But anyway, I do love what. Okay, so she meets Gabriel next. This mysterious bad boy with long hair and a leather jacket. Why are there leather fucking jackets in this movie? And I love the shot where he's after like they have their little cute flirtatious moment. He like looks back up and all the characters that we care about, and maybe all the people who are actually in this hospital, are like leaning out the balcony, and it's Stacey Keach, Jake, who is again is a character we know nothing about and we never do, and then the sheriff. You're looking down like, oh, you know, we have to stick to the plan, and like it just brings the idea that these are the only people in this hospital. You know, no one else exists.
It's as empty as 4, right? Like it's just like we're in a vacuum.
Well, we did see it. We did see though a bunch of people there, but earlier, although possibly, but again, I'm never clear on whether or not this is supposed to be like a true, fully functioning hospital or a mental hospital or some sort of, you know, small clinic or whatever where you only have the one guy, right? Like it's again one of those things that doesn't make a lot of sense, right? I mean, seriously, that building looks huge, right? But but they have like only like one doctor on staff and then a bunch of mental patients, it seems.
And it seems like they spend the most of their time with Isaac. Like they don't talk about any of the other ones. They don't do anything with them. They're just talking about Isaac. And if we're talking about one of the other things that's ludicrous too, when they are talking about him and when they're like looking at his vitals and stuff, did you guys catch that one shot where it was like the camera was underneath the needles that were on the paper? Right? No. Did you guys see that?
Not really.
No.
Yeah, so it was like you know how those machines, it was print on paper and it would scratch up and down or whatever. It
Yeah.
was like the camera was from the perspective of in between the needles and the paper, where you were looking
Oh, yeah,
through
yeah.
them and you're
There
looking at
was
the people.
you're right. It was an
Mhm,
interesting shot. Like
mhm.
like a really cool angle, right? Because you see it
Yeah.
like, so the needles look huge. It's like framing thing. Okay. Yeah, I
Mhm.
remember that now.
Yeah, no, it just like something to call out is like I did appreciate that, even if it made no sense and didn't do anything to actually make the scene more tense. It was just a cool shot.
I also think they had, well, look, they do have cool shots spread throughout this movie. I mean, there's like a cool shot of the clock, right? That, like, that weird close up, and you see that the clock is never really
Mhm.
moving, or rather, it's moving back and forth. It's like stuck. You see I really like the shot when Isaac actually wakes up and he's looking at his reflection in the I think like in the roof or something, right? Or that there's like a mirror above him. That was a cool
It like
shot.
cuts his face in half. Yeah.
Yeah,
My God, the 12-year-old forever.
no,
Right,
I
the
mean,
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
12.
no, but I like that. He was clearly taking in how much he had aged, right? Like, I feel that was that was like a good moment of visual storytelling. So yeah, you see stuff, you see those moments of inspiration, like here and there, like all throughout. I mean, I'm trying to think of another one. There was some other stuff that kind of stood out to me, just from a visual standpoint.
I
Well,
wish that there were moments where they cut to like scenes of Isaac, playing an acoustic guitar with Reggie Bannister on the sunset. Like that's what this movie was really missing.
all right. So I'm moving ahead. Um, Hannah gets run off the road by Jeepers Creepers, or I guess a possessed truck. It's hard to say. Is it meant to be Isaac's kid? Like later on, I don't know, but it seems to be like a possessed magical truck that's just there so that she can run into the motel and proceed on. Um, and there she meets Morgan and what the fuck is this guy's name? Um,
Mike?
Matt?
think
Morgan
it's
and
Matt.
Matt. Matt, yes. And which
A lot of these guys looked the same too. I don't know.
I
Like
thought
I
he
was
was
I
the
was
same.
confused.
I thought he was the same as Gabriel. I really thought he was.
I thought it was so, like, when they were like, "Oh, my son," I'm like, "Okay, Gabriel's the son. Got it. That makes sense." And it was like, "No, that's a different guy."
Yeah, one has like ice up kind of like gel hair, and the other one has long hair. But they're both very 90s phenotypes. Okay, big bushy eyebrows and way looking faces. But anyway, so they run the hotel, Morgan and Matt, which presumably stands for some sort of biblical name because Isaac's son cannot be named Matt. I refuse.
Matthew?
Matthew, exactly. Yeah.
Matthias, something like that. Anyway, so and I like that. I like that these are these like two really young teens running this dusty, barren motel. It has that weird sort of play acting vibe that I enjoy. And they're having arguments saying, "Well, you love me, you can't fulfill the prophecy." And she hears this and she didn't ask anything about it at all. But yeah, I
Right.
like that vibe. And I just got to the shot that you're mentioning where it's like from the underhead of the ectrometry, electrographic needles,
Mhm.
um, which is great. Anyway, Isaac is awoken, and it turns out
He's
that
back.
yeah, he's back. But also, it turns out that Cora, Sheriff Cora, is like
His wife.
his child wife.
Which,
Um,
when did that happen? Who knows?
I do like that she's a redhead, so I'm headcanoning that he bagged Malachi's sister. That's why
Okay.
Malachi was so pissed. Okay. Okay,
Sure.
this makes sense to me. Anyway, 12-year-old Isaac fathered her son. Let's ignore the
Don't like
technicalities of that.
that.
You know,
Don't like
it's
that
really
one
bad.
bit.
I mean,
Uh,
it's vital to the whole plot of this movie is that kids were
Yeah.
making other kids. Like
Yeah.
that's like the thing that these movies have avoided for so long, and then they're like, nope, this is
That's
what
the
it's
plot.
about.
This is
Mhm.
the premise. This is about the
The
next
children of
generation.
the children.
Exactly.
Well, it's like we talked about with the first movie, where it's like that was originally something that they had shot. So it's like for whatever reason, Franklin was like, "Well, that's what the first movie got wrong when they cut that out. That was the best stuff when we shot it." And it's like,
Put it
no,
back
I think
in.
that was right. We didn't need that. We don't need to keep talking about this. I don't want to have like a movie series about this. This is not what's scary, This is
I mean,
just
it
gross.
is scary.
Yeah,
but,
it's
like,
scary from like from that lens, of course. But I'm saying, like, it's gross. It's a grotesque.
and
It's not
this movie
something that I
doesn't.
want to watch in like a slasher context.
It's very true. And not like this movie takes a lot of advantage of that sort of unease, of that grotesquerie of it. Like I think there is like this kind of it's almost romanticized look at it in a kind of way, because Cora is very clearly loving toward Isaac, and then Rachel says, "My husband is gone." But like, one, you're like fucking probably 16 when you got married, and Isaac was clearly 12 when he
We
got married.
saw the ritual where they were like, where she was painting the blood thing on him, and it's like, yeah, this just seems ritualistic. I didn't get the sense that she like literally loved him from that scene.
Yeah, she felt like it was very much like this is part of the way things are, and so
This is my duty.
exactly. And then she maybe you're right. Maybe she got slapped some sentences, and maybe Bert slapped some sentences to her. She's been like, yes. But it doesn't feel like it takes it that seriously enough. And when it's the fact that it's like the core of the film, it makes it feel like it's very sloppy, like just inherently sloppy.
Yeah.
And that's a shame, because again, I'm not going to say that's something I want to see, but if you're going to bring it up, like actually handle it with some grace. And this movie does not handle just the disgusting nature of that with any grace. It's just there for like, okay, we need some hot, sexy teens in this movie.
Well,
So
it's also like from a fundamental standpoint, like they're like these are straight to DVD dimension films, right? Like Franklin was able to fucking co-write this movie, for God's sakes. Like nobody really cares. They're just kind of like, whatever, take the money and make it, right? Why did it have to be about this? Like at the drawing board, you're like, okay, what can I do to make a good scary movie, right? I just don't think that this is the right way to go. I just don't think that anything about like from the plot to like any of the way that people are dispatched in this film, I just don't think that it's like something that's executed in a way that has any sense of maturity or understanding of the gravity of what it's presenting, nor is it interested in trying to explore anything deeper than skin level in terms of slashers. But even then, it doesn't have any kills. It doesn't have any,
Yeah.
you know what?
it's so baseline.
No
I'm,
set pieces.
I'm gonna bring it full circle back to what Mikhail said about Halloween 6, because a big part of Halloween 6, okay,
Yep.
of Halloween 6, the original cut, the producer's cut, is that Michael, raped the underage Jamie Lloyd and got her pregnant. And so like it just feels like there is something in the water and dimension at that time.
Like once you get this deep into a franchise, just like, I don't know.
We got to have underage
sexual violence. Yeah. Like, geez, I wonder why. I wonder who owned Dimension. Google.
Just fucking insane. And that,
well, either that or you got to go to space.
Right.
They should have gone to space. That would have been better.
Yeah, you know what?
Amazing.
They're in space. They're like terraforming, like the first corn in space. Our colony will survive.
And the seeds are from Germany that they're using in the colony.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
And Eli's ghost is like walking on the moon without a spacesuit. Like, what?
He who walks behind the moon.
Oh.
That would be cool, actually. That would be like I don't know. There's something there.
I feel like there is. But anyway, in order to do this right, it would have to be like this very stripped down, very kind of professional, grown up, mature, kind of like social thriller, social piece, not like a really cheesy slasher film, low budget. So it's a bad idea overall.
And I like how we keep calling this a slasher, because it technically is in terms of structure, but there's like one
Two
kill.
Two people die. Well,
No,
I guess Jake dies as well, but he doesn't count. He's not a character or a person.
Yeah.
I mean,
But-
I think the body count was around like 4 people total, right?
Well,
There's the doctor, the like Morgan and Matt, and then
Right.
well, I guess like Isaac and
Okay.
Cora, right?
And
so,
then
so
they-
5,
But most of them die like right after another, so
right?
there's not a lot of set pieces, I think, is more to the point.
I
It's a
mean,
lot of-
they're not set pieces at all, really. Like the only thing that I think remotely resembles a set piece is what we get at the very end with the impaling, right? That at least has some
Right.
like, visual, I don't know,
That's some great.
interest.
And then like new metal in the background. Anyway,
Oh,
Hilarious.
okay, yeah, that too.
It's at least
But
like an
you're right.
escalation of some kind, because even the Stacy Keach death isn't a set piece. It just happens. Like it's just like Isaac shows up and is like, you betrayed me.
And
The
then
priorities are so much with the protagonist, the supposed protagonist of this film, to where it's like every scene with them feels really important. But then there's so much of this film that's devoted to the exposition, and it's like anything else that's outside of the exposition or that lead, it just falls apart.
You know what? So this is actually great, because the one thing we said was wrong about the first film. Let's say part 1, like this is like some sort of series. But no, the first film is that Bert and Vicky, they didn't really do a lot of interesting investigating at all. They're just kind of just like wandering around, like. But meanwhile, Hannah really is kind of investigating. She's going to old archives, looking at old newspaper receipts. She's actually doing the work. It's just that
Birth
that is
certificate.
also, yes, birth certificate. But also just like that is also not interesting, because we already know what she's looking for, because it's explained to us in like a 2-minute scene. So it's like they tried to fix the problem, but then they kind of reverse engineered the exact same issue. Just by how they structured the film again.
And then even when she catches up and she knows what we know, then they're trying to like, oh, well, yeah, but you're not going to see this twist coming with Gabriel. Or
the movie is like 5 minutes from being over.
Yeah, and it's like, he's obviously, you can't trust him. So I was never for a moment thought that he was like the one good guy in town. So it's not like I was like, oh no, what a revelation.
Oh, you're telling me that in a series that's about like people with weird names doing, or biblical names, I should say more accurately, those people are the ones we should look out for. The guy named Gabriel is going to just be like a part of it, just like around. Oh no, I'm sure.
I thought he was just a regular guy who has a motorcycle.
I thought he was the only person in his town that isn't part of this cult. That's the backbone of this entire town. He was passing through like me, a normal 90s kid.
Nope, just Mr. Normal McGee. You can trust me, like, and it's like you can see it coming from a mile away where this is going, and it's just gross and unfortunate is the way I'll describe it.
Yeah. Anyway, so Hannah and Gabriel go through a bunch of like Silent Hill style shenanigans, and then she gets like this weird visit
Wait
in
a
her
second.
motel room.
Wait a second. I gotta throw a flag on the play. This is not Silent Hill. This is Shelby Oaks. Continue.
Okay. I was trying to be kind. Okay, I was trying to be kind, but yes, it pretty much is like, but just abandoned factory floors, meant to be hospitals, lots of backlit lighting, and she keeps getting visions, like lots of visions of Isaac in a walker in a robe. He was just having the time of his life. Like, I'm gonna write a script where I don't have a costume, I don't have to do any makeup.
I don't even have to stand.
Yeah. Anyway,
like, why did he want this for her? Like, that's the thing. It's like, it would have been any of the ideas that we pitch where it's like Isaac literally comes back from the grave, and that's like him like jump starting a new cult or something like that. That would, at least as an actor, you'd be like, okay, I can have something to play in terms of like, you give me some scenes preaching or something. But it's literally just nothing.
Like, he's just there so that he can have his name on, and like name on the poster and photo on the poster. Like, that's even like I'll be in it, but I want everything to be visually about me in terms of marketing of this. I want it to be about my face. And maybe that's narcissistic. I don't know. I feel like he does at least deserve to be like the face of the franchise, but this does not treat him or the character with any kind of importance.
He's an afterthought in the movie with his name in it.
Well,
Yeah, like,
Elvis, I think you're absolutely right. Like this idea that like he's there is a level of narcissism here where he's trying to essentially make himself the Michael Myers of this franchise, right? Like that's what he's trying to do. He's like, everybody remembers me because I was the first creepy kid and I did that really well. And that's one of the best parts of that movie.
Yeah, we all
But at the same time, he doesn't understand how to tell a story. And what he decided to focus on was just off-putting, was boring and creepy and weird, like just like all around. He just doesn't understand how to make something that's compelling just from a fundamental level. So he doesn't even understand how to make that connect in some way into a larger franchise.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like if he had just written it and not been in it, maybe there would have been more time to kind of develop some of the ideas. But then again, the way it handles ideas to begin with right now is just not. It's just not promising. It doesn't set really high expectations. So yeah, no, it's. I'm like, we're like halfway through the movie at this point. Like this movie's it's a clean 70 minutes, not including credits. It's a clean 70 minutes, and we're like 40 minutes in, and Isaac has been in like a minute and a half. So it's kind of, it really is kind of shocking.
He returned.
He returns in the second act, like more so is definitely what happens. But
He
we get
returns and
introduced to
returns
him now.
again. He returns a couple of times. Every time he appears again, it's like a return. So this movie is over delivering on its promise, really.
He returns
Every
too many times.
sequence where he's not on screen, you're wondering to yourself, where is Isaac? And then every time he comes back on screen, you should be
Yep.
clapping because Isaac has returned.
When will he return? You know?
Okay, he has one good scene with Gabriel.
Okay, we
the
haven't gone
one-
there yet. You haven't gone there yet. But yes,
Okay,
I do
okay.
agree. Anyway, so it turns out that the person who broke into her motel room wasn't trying to rape her like she thought. So she follows her, and turns out it's Nancy Allen in the Jeepers Creepers trench coat and hat. And did Victor Salvo see this movie? Anyway,
Possibly.
I hope not. Throw him in jail.
exactly.
He was no. This would have been right up his alley. Actually, like, oh, kids having kids. This is interesting.
He like, I actually did. I was the one who co-wrote this. Anyway,
Ghost Road.
John Franklin owed me a favor. And Jesus Christ. Anyway, so she apparently she sees Rachel, who is again, we've said it a bunch of times, it's the person that Bert punches out in his car and leaves her dead at the end of the first movie. Again, argument with the sheriff Cora, at the gravesite of Rachel's daughter, and we get and that's what it. Hannah decides not to follow up on that. But she and then we get this really long scene that lays everything out. It's 34 minutes in. Isaac, Cora, and Nancy Allen, Rachel, just hash it out. Like, oh, here's what happens in the first movie. Here's how we connect. Here's what this movie's about. And it is tedious. Like this,
it's a shame because we all know how great Nancy Allen is, right? Like we've
Yes.
seen Brian De Palma movies, right?
Yeah,
like, we know she rules.
blowout.
Yeah,
RoboCop.
right. RoboCop, even right? Like Nancy Allen rules, but like she is given absolutely nothing. She's given the most boring exposition ever, and it's also like expected and anticipated at this point. You're like, you threw this party, and for what?
exactly.
I mean, she's like trying. I'll give her in terms of like the script gives her nothing, but in terms of like the idea of a woman who escaped a cult and like that she gave her child away to like like get her away from that. But when the scene where she calls her daughter a mistake, like I feel like that, like Nancy Allen, like if you're an actress, you're like, okay, this is actually like a scene where I'm not just giving boring exposition. I can put something into this. Like she's like at least trying in that part, but it's like there's not opportunities really for her to do much with it.
I mean, I like her. I mean, not to say that. I mean, I think she has a presence, right? Like she seems like at least more engaging than some of the other characters.
Oh,
in this
absolutely.
movie. Yeah, but even then, though, I'm often confused by the exact details of that character's story because I'm like, Well, okay, so she kind of escaped this cult, I guess, or rather she stayed, like to take care of the children while sending off her actual daughter somewhere. Or was it the doctor who secretly, I think, led her to believe that her daughter was dead, but actually sent her off? It's like the details there are pretty confusing.
Because then it also seems like she knew that the daughter, oh, she was lying when she said the daughter was dead. Like, oh, or no, did Stacy Keach lie to her? It's like kind of goes, the way it's presented almost feels like both are true.
Yeah, exactly.
It does feel like it's inconsistent. It does feel like it wants to go whatever is most dramatic for the scene in hand. Rather than telling something that's like a very kind of strong character piece or making a character decision, that's actually kind of set in stone. And so again, I think that's also what makes this movie such a chore to watch, because there's, like Doug said, nothing to grip onto. Nancy Allen is a fine actress. She's a really great actress, and she's nice to see, but her character is every character is so like just foggy and ephemeral. There's nothing to grip onto. No character
Undefined.
is making undefined. There's no character that has like a really great kind of character hook that makes you want to like really invest in their scenes. I think the closest, in my opinion, really, is the sheriff. I like the sheriff. I like seeing the sheriff. Like it's weird and gross, but I do like the dynamic with Isaac.
The
And we shall talk
devotion
about-
is
yeah.
there.
I guess I'm somewhat engaged when Jake's on screen, just because I'm trying to figure out what his purpose is.
What are you doing here?
Like, okay, so he wants to stop the prophecy, but who is he?
Well,
Like,
I do notice
Laura's
that.
brother.
Exactly. So
Right.
that, again, Cora is a redhead. So boom, Jake is meant to be Isaac. Theory confirmed.
You mean Malachi?
Malachi, yes.
Da-na-na-na.
But yeah, so because Cora, I got that sibling kind of feeling between them as well. And Cora is the redhead.
I found it funny because Jake drags Hannah right into the room basically against her will. You're the only one who can stop Isaac. You're the only one who can kill him. She doesn't do anything. Then it's like, I think next time we see him in that room, he has a pillow and he wants to smother Isaac himself. And somebody like grabs him and is like, no, don't do that. It was just funny, really. I mean, yeah, he could have probably just like taken a pillow and smothered Isaac, or I don't know, disconnected him from his devices if he really wanted to kill him like a long time ago.
What were these people doing before Hannah came to town? Like the whole town was just
Exactly.
in stasis.
Exactly.
They were just like twiddling their thumbs until this exact moment, which robs any kind of suspense from this movie, right? Again, if we were from her perspective, then this would be a lot creepier. If this was a reveal, the fact that it's just all the cards are on the table, it's like we're just kind of waiting.
It's very true. Like
The movie should have been about a girl coming to town who isn't the chosen one, but there's been waiting so long they're like, oh well, she has to be, right? It's her.
It's pretty good hook though. I'm gonna for like a radio and something. I'm gonna write that down as a pitch. Like fuck it. Like there's a big cult and like we need to kill this one person, and that person never happened. So they just pick the next random tourist, and that's like that's a
Like,
twist.
yeah, it's her. It's close enough.
Yeah. So it's like a they're gonna kill you / Ready or Not style movie. It's a great pitch.
Well, it ends with them putting the ritual sacrifice person onto this totem, and then it's King Kong. It turned out this was just King Kong.
Anyway, so Stacey Keach dies because
No.
Nathaniel is like, well, Hannah's clearly still alive, so that death certificate you signed was bogus. You betrayed me. I'm gonna kill you. And
It's like
then,
a Looney Tunes death.
exactly.
Bit.
It's just,
Yeah.
his camera's shaking, and he's like,
I do like that he refers to Isaac, as a medical miracle. I mean,
a medical miracle. You'll be yours forever.
Peter Pan ass.
Anyway, so Stacey Keach is dead, and he died really laughably. Then we get to the second laughable scene in the movie, where Isaac and his son Matt, who looks exactly like the guy from Eurotrip, have a talk. And you know what? I'm gonna say this movie is a masterpiece because it really does capture the generational divide of like someone who's like who's from the 50s talking to someone who's clearly from the 90s. Because like what do they have to talk about? Like he's a stuffy old man, and he's like, I need to watch Tony Hawk, bro. I wear flannel. This is ridiculous.
I mean, that could have been a POV. Like, not that this movie, we said, like, this movie doesn't need to be about the next generation of a child cult, but like, if you were to pick a POV within that, wouldn't Isaac's kid be the more logical place than like Nancy Allen, than Rachel's daughter? Like, in terms of like, this is the important kid to focus on.
I mean, you're not wrong, especially since he seems to have a lot more going on already in the town. This morning, like, how is town set up? But I guess he somehow has a girlfriend. Was the girlfriend a child of the cult as well? Are all these other
Presumably.
teenagers children of the cult? It doesn't really answer that. So they could have just been random kids as well. But it doesn't really matter in the day. But that would be interesting to kind of develop, because they're in love, and they're both very 90s coded. They're both very kind of normal, I guess. I don't know what the culture of this town is, but they both run a motel. Like, it's insane. But I think that'd be more interesting. I think you're right. Whatever they got going on,
and then the tension between like, oh, does he want to live up to like what his father expects of him, or like he just wanted a normal yeah, there's stuff there like you can play with.
Exactly. And if you wanted to bring like Hannah in, then you could be like parallels between, like, I guess whatever this new version of Rachel, even though she seemed pretty gung ho about sacrificing her spouse, was like
that was pre-concussion.
Exactly.
I just want to cut in here, right? Like, and I just want to say this with sincerity, right? Is this what Stephen King would have wanted?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, he would have wanted a combination of this child sex stuff and then also Red Bear from 2.
All the worst stuff is what you're saying.
I mean, come on. Like, Jake is like perpendicular to like Duddits, man. So like he's not a stranger to that kind of stuff.
No, for sure.
Anyway,
this and 2 are his favorite ones, probably.
So anyway, Morgan is acting like a really catty, bitch to Hannah, because she's like, the prophecy is that her and Isaac's son are meant to, mate. And obviously Morgan, as Isaac's son's girlfriend, is very, very opposed to that. So she's like, "You gotta get out of the motel. I'm kicking you out." Anyway, so we get to the best scene in the movie. I agree. I think this is the best movie. This is the scene that kind of feels the most like it's giving Isaac something to chew on, because it does feel like the most like one of those tete-a-tetes he and Malachi were up to. And it's Isaac and Gabriel walking through the cornfield, just having a discussion about like what the cult is up to and what this plan is about, and their opposing views of it. And it's really nice. I think that it does give Isaac the most to chew on, because it does give him a little more maturity. And I think Gabriel in this scene acts like an adult, not like Freddy Krueger wannabe he becomes at the end of the movie.
Right.
So I do like this scene. What do you guys think?
I love it. I really do. I mean, it's just in a movie that is otherwise unremarkable, that really felt like the one sequence where it seems to really be about something. I mean, here, like, you have a discussion of religion, of faith, of what the cult's plans are, and also how Isaac sees himself now, having woken up, and how he literally compares his vision to that of, oh yeah, Jesus Christ had a vision, Buddha had a vision, but my vision surpasses all of them. And the guy's like, well, didn't you also end up on the cross? And and I don't know, but it's also, I think, the way that it's shot, right? Like, you see a lot of detail here. Like, you see the kids working on the corn in the background, right? Like, you have like these something about like the way the sun is falling and everything. I don't know, but all of the details here really work, nicely together.
Yeah, it should have been like one of the central thrusts of the movie. Like he could be the new if not literally like Malachi, but like someone who's like stand in for that conflict. I mean, they kind of try to be like, oh yeah, this is where this was leading, the conflict between them in that final scene. I don't know what they're really going for in the final scene, we'll get to, but like it's like that, the idea of them being on opposite sides of this like theological divide, like that's an interesting movie if that's like what the movie is about.
Exactly.
Well, yeah.
Does it feel like Malachi was like, we're meant to enforce, and Isaac like we have to work for the will, and it's kind of like a role reversal where Isaac is trying to make things happen, and then Gabriel coming from a position of, well, that doesn't seem like the most practical thing to do. I do enjoy that.
I think that this franchise has lost sight of the fact that the first film was inspired by Kulamani's regime taking hold in Iran, right?
Yes.
And that I say that with tongue in cheek, but I also mean that sincerely in the sense that a lot of the first movie is about like not specifically religious rule, but rather the methods of religious rule, how religious rule is enacted. Is it militaristic? Is it fascistic? Is it like they go in that realm, and that's where a lot of the politicking and the debates of that film happen, right? Where it's Malachi and Isaac going back and forth. And the reason that this scene works is because that's the closest that we ever get to feeling like the first movie, the stuff that actually kind of worked in that first movie. And they only have one scene devoted to that here, which is a real shame.
And it's like the biggest unbroken dialogue that John Franklin gets. Like, and it's like he's, what? It's like when Tom Welling came back as Superman for the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover in CW. Like, it's nice to have someone who knows how to be in these movies again. And John Franklin is like the only scene. The rest of the movie is like, what the fuck is happening here? But this is the first one, like, okay, it's like that sense of normalcy back. Okay, here's like if to steal something from Caravan of Garbage, like when they mentioned like, Josh Duhamel coming back for like the last night, like okay, someone remembers that first movie, like it's like great, we're back to our roots, and this is like the only thing that really kind of sells that. So I enjoy it. All right, so that's over. Now the movie only has like 30 minutes left. So let's what happens next.
We'll speed right through.
Yeah. All right. So Matt tries to fucking murder Hannah because he doesn't want to fulfill the prophecy because he loves his girlfriend, and I would too because his girlfriend's really hot, like she's a redhead.
Also, like, why would he like ruin a good thing that's going on? They seemed like they genuinely liked each other.
She reminds me of the redhead from the Brady Bunch movie.
Huh?
Sure.
The one that one the Brady Bunch kids has a crush on. Anyway, so he tries to kill her, but they can't die. She said like we can't die because we're both chosen, and it's so funny because in hindsight he could have died because he's not a chosen one. So he definitely could have just killed himself by doing that. Anyway, he's like just find out if that you're not actually the baby you in the coffin is not really you. And so she does that. She digs up the baby's coffin and then find out it's empty. And that's so stupid of me, but it happens.
It should have been like The Omen, where there's like an animal corpse in the coffin.
All right, so we do see Zacharias again because when she's digging up the coffin, right, she gets a vision of Zacharias having been hung from his feet on the tree above her with his neck slit. And so was Zacharias like the original priest in the town?
Maybe.
I guess.
I think he also, there was some reference to him in those archives, right? Like a brief like newspaper kind of thing, clipping, whatever.
The only clip we see is just like boy priest in coma.
So is he supposed to be the preacher before Isaac like rose to power?
But yeah, so he's a ghost then. But yeah, that's the only other time we see him. So whatever enigmatic thing they're going for is it's too smart for us.
It's too smart for this movie.
It's it's really highbrow. You really have to read your Proust to understand it.
You have to have an IQ of 666 to understand this film.
Yes, exactly. Anyway, so Nancy Allen is like, okay, you're not dead, baby, and they have this heart to heart about like, you know, she doesn't believe that the prophecy is real, so she just thinks that she's a deadbeat mother. But we know that she's wrong, so this becomes just really kind of like boring drama.
Mhm.
And the movie still has like 20 minutes left. So, um,
But
Like
notice how
how?
you just
Like
sped
what
right
else
through
even
that.
happens?
Yeah, but just notice for a second how Elvis just sped through that. That was like 10 minutes, and none of us said anything.
exactly, so nothing happens.
Yep.
It's like, it takes
No.
like we go. She takes her like 3 minutes to dig up that grave, and we follow it.
Mhm.
It's how you film a movie with like almost no budget. You just gotta extend every scene you got.
This takes
Yep.
place in real time. No.
It's what it felt like too.
This is actually a prequel to Memoria. It's some real slow cinema shit.
Anyway, so Isaac brands his son to like, he's like, okay, you are now officially part of the prophecy. And then like some lame ass guy. I love this bit because like the lame ass guy in like a beanie talks to his girl saying, "You're gonna get cucked," and like it's like, why are these kids so 90s? It's so fucking ridiculous to me.
The way they're cheering too is very 90s because like they like in this scene and I feel like another scene they're like just the way they're just like yeah like cheering Isaac on.
One is wearing like a mid-drift tank top. So like what is the standards here for this cult now? Again, like
Because it doesn't feel like religious reverence. It just feels like that they're there for like a party.
exactly.
And
Some of
they've
them
got bikes, and they drive around like in motorcycles.
One of them is wearing like a graphic tee for a band. Like what it does feel like while in the previous one, while in Fields of Terror, there was like this maybe undercurrent of like David Carradine's character doing some Lost Boys-isms with like the disaffected youth of the 90s, whatever you want to call it, right? In this one, again, and I made a joke about this last time, but this one just feels like we have these teen extras, just let them just tell them to bring their own fucking clothes. We don't have the budget to costume them.
Mhm.
Yeah, can't be bothered.
Yeah, it's like why would you get like? I don't know. Isaac was like, we have to live a pure life. No TV. But these kids obviously watch television. They want their MTV. Okay.
Yeah,
They
there
at
should
least
have been
get their catalogs. They at least, like the Gap Autumn catalog comes in
One
and
is
they're like,
wearing
"Ooh, I like
Jinko
that one."
jeans.
Yeah, it's crazy.
One is wearing Jinkos. This is insane. Anyway, so they knock out Hannah and they do the midsummer on her.
Mhm.
So Isaac is like, yeah, before I command my son to Hannah escapes, so it's actually after, but they go after on mini bikes.
Yep.
Yep.
What-
Motorcycles, everybody can drive a motorcycle. I mean, Lord knows how they learned how to drive in the first place. Just
Well, like it's a lot easier for a kid, right? Like his bikes, you can teach them to ride a motorcycle fairly quickly after that, So
You
that's
start with
the
the trike, then you go to bike, and then you go to motorcycle. Those are the
Logical.
steps.
evolutionary even.
let's admit it. When Isaac was in the coma, things just got a little lax. They got too lax. That's the real thing here.
well, that would be interesting if he actually, like he comes back and he realizes, wow, standards have really fallen. No, we got to get the cult back into shape. Okay, let's burn all the books and all the bicycles, and like everybody has to.
That would be a return.
Yeah, that would be.
That's something you would want in a return. But again, it's what makes Isaac feel like afterthought. He doesn't feel like he's important to the cult. The cult.
It doesn't even feel like he has any like true convictions other than power, which I mean, sure is in line in terms of like the series. I'm very loosely saying commentary on like like religious rule and stuff, but like I yeah, I mean that's why we come to this series, is the social commentary. But yeah, there could be something to that like he doesn't actually have any actual value. He's like Trump was like he doesn't actually really believe anything. But no,
I was going to bust out impersonation. He who walks behind the rose. That's so bad. Anyway,
Wow.
it's really bad. Anyway, so Morgan tries to help Hannah escape because she doesn't want to get cut. And so they capture both of them. So now they know that Morgan is a traitor. But Gabriel comes back and also on a mini bike because everyone has a mini bike. Everyone has a dirt bike, and it's like
They're all in Mad Max.
and then he does the thriller face on her while hugging her because he hugs her and then he looks like fucking evil for like a second. So we get it now. There's no more tension for the last 12 minutes of this movie.
God forbid we actually like are left in a moment of suspense.
Anyway, so I think it's like kill your girlfriend, your hot girlfriend, you know. And he's like, I think he does do it. I don't know. It's very
No,
badly
he
edited.
doesn't. He just kind of doesn't even say anything. He just kind of doesn't like he doesn't
Oh,
do
Isaac does
anything.
it.
Is the thing?
Isaac
Yeah,
does it. Like, I'm
yeah,
so
yeah.
disappointed
So
of you. I should have aborted you. I
And
my religion.
it cuts around it. Like these are straight to video. Like, do we have to hold back on like gore and stuff? Like, let's see a throat get slit or
Well,
something.
Well, it's straight to video, and they have to cut around it because they have no money. You know,
Yeah.
like they're like, you know, we can.
Like
we can
we
show, like,
see like a prosthetic back piece kind of slip in half, but it's like for like 2 seconds.
mhm.
So it's like it's very quick.
Just draw a face on a watermelon and then have him swing the machete, and then you see their head go flying.
Done. We'll clap. We'll be happy for that, even if it looks fake. You know.
Anyway, Isaac's son is now really depressed because he was a simp. And I'm sorry, like he has no character. We gotta go back to these.
Yeah,
stories.
Isaac's son is in this, and he doesn't. I mean, Isaac already doesn't
Yeah.
matter, so should be surprised. But the fact that, like, yeah, so why is Isaac's son a character then?
Yeah, because
Yeah, well, it's like you said, it's the Last Jedi. For whatever reason, they decided to make it so Isaac's return actually didn't really matter.
and the reason why I can
That
understand.
is
I can understand.
slanderous against the Last Jedi. Okay, I'm
The
sorry.
thing is, right, the thing is, right, I can understand why they chose Rachel and Amos from the first movie to be the parents of this kid because they're the only people that are confirmed to at least be 18 or older, not 19, but 18 or older. So okay, that makes sense. But you're right. There's no purpose for Isaac having a son because his son has no purpose at all because
it's supposed to be the firstborn, right? It's the
brings-
firstborn in Gatlin, right? That's what they keep on saying, and they're
just
like,
brings
"Oh,
up
it's
the fact he's 12." So there's no reason. It just brings up the fact that he's 12. He was 12.
John Franklin just wants us to know he fucks. He's like, yeah, I got laid even when I was a kid.
it's more specific than that. It's that, right? Like we're supposed to believe that he had a kid at that age, and then there's also the fact that like it's revealed that not only did that happen, but he was actually wrong. Somebody else beat him to the punch, and that's who Gabriel is.
But who's Gabriel's parents?
I was
We don't
confused.
say.
Because he is he who walks behind the rose, or he's possessed by he who walks behind the rose. But I'm like, so is he another like kind of just spontaneous birth? Like
Yeah, that's what they say. Well, no, it's not immaculate conception. They say it's like the firstborn in Gatlin is going to be the one who takes on the mantle. And Isaac thought that was going to be his kid, but that's not true. Like that's what the movie's trying to do in this ending. But it doesn't.
I'm saying
really
who
work.
birthed Gabriel, or Gabriel's just
We
like
don't know.
Anakin. He just showed up.
It doesn't matter for a movie that's so concerned about what characters had sex. The idea of whoever Gabriel's parents were does not come up at all.
Exactly.
You know what they should have just said? It's Malachi's kid. They should have said that.
Boom.
I mean, look, he's Adam. He's Adam. Hannah is Eve. They're supposed to create like a new race together. Somehow, whoever his parents were, presumably, like he was born, then somehow he became God. Like Jesus. Like it's like first like you're a man, then it's like you die, then you're reborn, and you're also your father or something. So I think that's like the idea.
Gabriel does get killed at the beginning of the movie because he's the dead body we see at the very beginning.
But isn't that also then later, like we see, oh, that was at the end of the movie, that was the vision that she had or something?
I don't know, because then it seemed like it is a vision. It just seems like it's something that does occur. So like it can play either way. maybe he died and he was
this is when the movie starts losing all coherency. So like we can theorize about what this means.
Yeah.
But,
you know what? One of the bespoke horror like labels has got like, hire me. I'll write the novelization. We'll make this into an epic. I'll make
Oh
a
my God.
500-page novelization of Children of the Corn, Isaac's Return. That really goes deep into some of
That's going to put you on a watch list if you're going to continue with what they're doing narrative.
I'll be like the Australian lady who wrote that erotica novel that got her like in jail.
Jeez,
Remember that one? That was crazy. Anyway,
I don't even know, but yeah, continue.
Anyway, so Hannah and Gabriel have Terminator 1 sex. That's it, right? That's what they're doing.
You're right.
It's
in the same function of like it has to happen. It's a prophecy, like because there's no. I mean, she's like comforted like when he saves her from the cult, but there's like there's really it's. At least in Terminator, I can kind of buy Sarah Connor, fall in a short amount of time falling for Kyle Reese. In this, I'm like, what is their connection?
They really try to they really sell that emotionally in Terminator. I mean, you have that scene. I mean,
you're saying this.
Yeah, I mean, look, Michael Biehn like has this monologue, right? Like where he really opens up like emotionally. Like his character has been so like almost insane and closed off, and here it's like he becomes like open and tender, and then he's almost ashamed of having proclaimed that, right? And in this movie, it's just like they seem to be attracted to each other, and they like showers or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Although in hindsight, I was like, is this just like mine? Because Gabriel, or he has He Who Walks Behind the Rose power, so like he can just make people do stuff. Like, was he just like kind of entrancing her? Like maybe.
Okay, we don't need. Well, I probably, but we don't need to go into like more sexual violence.
You don't want to add magic roofing to the list.
But there's been too much stuff in this.
Franklin's already on the watch list. We don't need to give him more, charges.
Franklin was like, and yes, it is magical rupees. He wrote
a thrall, man. He can just like enthrall like everybody, right?
It is also awkward that like. In the time frame of the movie, like 5 minutes ago, she was under the threat of getting raped. That they have this sex scene. So it's like it's not a very mature movie. It's not very it's not very nuanced, and it's just gross. It's gross. That's the kind of shit that's gross. Because like she's like being she was knocked out, led into this cornfield, said, you're gonna marry this guy and he's gonna have sex with you right now. And then now she just escapes and has this other guy. He's like it's too lurid.
Well, especially of how we'll get to the final scene, but of how Gabriel refers back to this act and the gesture he makes of like how crude that it's insane. Not even so
I already did it.
The movie's not even trying to like present this with any maturity.
No, yeah,
and it's like, who is this for? Because like is it for like they're trying to core? Like, obviously, they're trying to core like 18-year-olds, like teens. Like, oh, here's all this cool stuff. But like, you're promoting a character from a movie that's like 20 years old at this point.
Yeah, and like who remembers him even? Right? Like who is going like, oh, I miss Isaac like that, right? Was he a permeable character
30
like this?
Or 40 at this time? This movie should have been made for 30 or 40-year-olds, but it's not. And that's one of the things that also hampers it a lot. Like, Jesus Christ.
Absolutely.
I want anyway, so Matt shows up and he's like, I don't care, leave me alone. I'm going to kill myself. And he
did he actually want to kill her at that point or not? I'm again like just baffled by what this character is doing. Like it's very...
because Gabriel kisses him, so
it does feel like he entranced her. I got that impression too, that maybe Matt was kind of like the menued, where like Ralph Fiennes is like, to Nicholas Hoult and gets himself to kill himself. I think that's I do get the impression that that's what Gabriel did. We do get like him looking back saying, aha.
I mean, because then he just does mind control for everything later. So it's like, yeah, I think that was just supposed to be us seeing like, yeah, he can influence people.
But by the way, like how far we have fallen from, like, we had like the glowing monster that was around people in the first movie. This movie can't even do us the courtesy of that, right? It's
Oh my
just
God, the
this guy
chud.
telling people to do things, and it's like the most boring threat
But he
that we
goes
could have.
bang,
Oh,
boom.
so
Nothing.
boring.
Yeah, we don't get those shots of something like burrowing under the ground or anything anymore.
No,
Like
there's no suspense.
I mean, I will say though, yeah, like I think as we've talked about it, it might be the coolest death in the movie that follows, right? I mean,
Yes, the
he just
suicide is pretty sick. He just
I mean,
kinda-
mostly because of the soundtrack.
yeah, it's like like what is that? Was that like someone's friend? They're like, you make another movie, you gotta put me on, man. Here's a demo track.
Yeah,
That
put
was
me up-
Matt's band in universe.
Right.
They should have been like it before his father woke up. He had a band. That's why he didn't want the prophecy to be
Like we're gonna go big, Dad. I'm gonna go on MTV. I'm keeping it up MTV, but I'm gonna do it because it's an MTV generation.
it kind
keep
of
on telling
reminded me.
about- Go
It
ahead.
kind of reminded me of that. I don't know why, but it reminded me of the reptile fight scene in the first Mortal Kombat. It's like you suddenly get this weird soundtrack playing that's completely different from everything else that you've heard.
Mhm.
Yeah,
No, just completely out of nowhere. It kind of feels like it was like an early YouTube video, like how they just
It
put
feels
like,
last
and
minute.
the bodies hit the floor, and the
Let the
bodies hit
bodies
the
hit
floor.
the floor.
like it feels like one of those videos where they just like took a classic scene from a movie and put that song over it.
Anyway, it does feel last minute too, because it feels like it wasn't even leveled properly. Like it should have been.
Right.
Like it feels so faint. Like someone's like, "Oh, we got to have some music here." That's it. They shift it off. It does feel very haphazard, but it's a nice scene, and it's very. I think it's well shot. Like just kind of just falls on the
The scythe.
reaper, the scythe.
Well, also we should just like blatantly say that I think the reason that they use that music is because the concept of it is so fucking stupid. The idea that he's going to fall on his scythe like that. It's a stupid thing to
Stupid
try
or
and make.
sick?
Well, they try to make it sick. That's
It's pretty
what the music choice is, right? I think that's what we're getting at here.
It's just stupid end for a stupid character because like you're like, well, what's the point of that?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm glad he's dead because a real man would have saved Morgan, the perfect woman.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything like in that moment. I mean, he doesn't even try. Like it's just it's kind of just ridiculous how how completely apathetic he is to everything. It's just
It's not compelling.
Yeah, it's not compelling. I will say I liked the moment where Gabriel has him look at all of the scythes and all of those cutting all of the cutting equipment, so to speak, on the wall. He's like, yeah, a lot. Look at all of that. It took so many years to collect, and any one of them would do or something.
You're gonna, you're going to be with her soon again.
Yeah.
Like
Don't don't disappoint me.
Anyway, so there's 10 minutes left in the movie. So this is going by at a clip. Anyway,
They have $5 left in the budget, so that's they gotta finish this fast.
Anyway, so they've kidnapped Nancy Allen, Rachel, and they have her tied up in a boiler room in the hospital. And so it's just John Franklin really at no point in this movie anymore. Like he's just there to be like a mustache twirling villain.
It turns into Scooby-Doo.
It turns into Scooby-Doo, yeah. And he's like, Cora, whip Nancy Allen. And I know John Franklin, I would totally do the same, He's a genius. His script is tight. Anyway, Jake is still around. He's wearing a sweater now. Gabriel's still around. And he kills the guy by punching his nose into his face. So that's cool, I guess. Oh, fuck,
Sure.
I don't know. The movie sucks. I'm
Okay,
getting bored summarizing it.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? Remember, the idea was that Isaac is now, he
Back.
has regained his cult, right? He commands all of those children. He had like a kind of, small private army, right, of kids with machetes and like farming equipment and bicycles and everything, right? motorcycles, who were willing to, I don't know, like do whatever the hell he told him. He told them to, right? Here, when they get back to the hospital, it's like, where the hell are all of those people? Like, the one guy that you get is maybe that one loyalist, right? Like, whom Gabriel just, he just like
punch him in the nose and he dies.
I thought maybe he kind of telekinetically crushed his head a little bit. I think that was the idea.
I think it was the idea, but it's kind of like he punches him.
Yeah, but I'm like, what happened to everybody else? What about like all the other loyalists, or what about I'm like, okay, so there's no real power struggle anymore. I mean,
they were just there for a party. Those teens, they weren't there like true believers. They it was just like a kegger, basically.
They're usually watching music videos on music video television. Anyway, so Gabriel is doing he's totally like I want to be pretty good right now. Like, ooh, baby, yes, swing. He's sprinting completely differently. He gets Cora to kill herself by using his magical mind powers. He's very Rick Flag coded,
Very quick death for a character who up until that point was pretty important too.
Well,
very
to be fair, she's connected to Isaac, and Isaac isn't important. So how could she be
there.
Yeah.
Right. No.
Anyway, he's there. And he's like, well, everyone's dead except for us, the heroes, and Isaac, who's a short 5-foot man. And that's it. He just fucking kills him. He does this really lame speech about power. And he starts laughing and giggling at the Joker. And he's like, oh my God, I'm the coolest. I'm so cool. He's flying. And then he just, kills Isaac. Isaac is dead.
But he wanted her to kill him, right? He told Hannah first, like, okay, look, if you don't want to cut him, just like, why don't you touch him first, and then I'll do the. I'm like thinking, okay, wait a second. So would her touching Isaac, like physically, would that like send him back into a coma or something? I'm like, it's a weird detail that they bring up, but again, it serves no purpose.
Because he can just drop an iron bar onto him, so like why even ask Hannah to do it?
And it's a problem too, because Hannah has nothing to do in this climax either. Everybody's telling
everyone just standing around while this guy vamps and giggles like the Joker.
And having Isaac come back for only for them to pull the rug from under her feet and be like, oh, he didn't actually matter, that he was the fake villain this entire time. It's lame. It is kind of lame. It doesn't work the way that it's intended, because ultimately they spent so much time filling in the exposition, so we made sure that we understood all of the beats. When it's like, maybe this would have been better if this was like something that we were trying to figure out. Maybe this would have worked better if we only found out Isaac was here late. I don't know. It just doesn't work as presented here.
No, it really doesn't, because at this point it's so deflated. Because one, Gabriel's in the character. Hannah's barely a character. Nancy Allen is definitely not a character. Isaac is completely run out of all the cachet from the first film at this point. And it's like, what is the point of this? I barely forgot that there was a unicorn in this movie. Now we're like in a boiler room in a factory. And like, what? This is so far removed from not even the aesthetics and like the visual sensibilities of this series at this point, if that there ever was one.
Just stylistically too, like, since when has He Who Walks Behind the Road have had like Joker or The Mask sensibilities where he's like doing bits when he kills people?
Like,
because because he's human now, because he has like a human form, or
so he's just having fun.
I guess so. I mean, and it's weird how he even starts to talk about, like, I mean, it's like a good performance, if I say so myself. Or something.
Who's he talking to?
I know exactly what this is. The Mask just came out. He's doing Jim Carrey. Somebody stop me. Like, it's one of those situations.
I was saying Freddy Krueger, but also if I wanted to be like kind, I would say that that maybe they were trying to do a Rick Flag thing. Maybe. Because Rick Flag is like in the sand, calling himself He Walks Behind the Rose. Maybe John Franco was like, oh man, we have to
tie it in.
We have to tie it into the stand. At the very kindest, even then, it's just so weak and lame. The bits aren't funny. And he's just not charismatic enough to pull it off. He's just a
May-
regular, generic teen heartthrob guy. with bad
Maybe
hair.
if they got Elba here too.
Yeah.
I almost called him Idris Elbus.
Yeah.
Idris Elbus.
Boom.
I have to say, I think the Freddy Krueger comparison is spot on. I
We're in a
mean,
boiler room,
especially
too.
yeah, the boiler room. I mean, that's very much a
Sure.
Nightmare on Elm Street type of area. I mean, why not like set it somewhere else? Like even, I mean, why not set it inside a church, for example? Like whatever happened to that? Like what happened to churches and preaching and all of that stuff? No, I mean.
The talking to himself, like, what a good performance, if I say so myself. You know what that is? He's kind of has a little bit of James Woods Hades. Hercules was just a couple of years before this.
Geez.
It does
That's
feel
what-
like we gotta have a cool villain, someone hip that kids will love,
Someone
I should
who's
have just gotten James Woods.
self-aware.
self-aware, metatextual. But it's like it is people who are watching this or at least going to be compelled to even look this up are like 40 years old, bro.
Yeah, because like at this point, right? Like Isaac Returns, right? Like the other children of the core movies, they've got like Urban Harvest on the title. Sure, whatever. I'm at the dollar store. I'm at the video store. I picked that up. I'm like, sure, that's gonna be just standard children of the core garbage. I see Isaac Return, and I'm like, oh, there's lore here. I have to be prepared, right? And I don't think that this has the same kind of like entry point level that it should for what this kind of thing is.
Yeah, no, and it just wastes its load. It does. It wastes that premise. You waste it and you can't do it again. It's for like another bar, low level generic. It could be Ancient and Corn sequel. It could be. You could call this The Gathering. You could call it Field of Terror, and it would not make a difference. But you call something Isaac's Return, you have to deliver on that, and this does not. It just
Nope.
It's just there to be like, oh, another
Rachel's
cool,
Return. That's
cool.
what they should
Yeah,
call it.
like Rachel's Return.
Right.
But even then, Rachel was barely in this movie as well. She doesn't act like Rachel. She's blonde. When did she get blonde? Did they have hair dye in Gatlin?
He knocked. It's kind of like in Scott Pilgrim, where the highlights get knocked out
Right.
of her hair.
No, really, I still think the simplest thing with, I mean, if you're gonna bring back Isaac, like make him legitimately undead, make him resurrected, make him like the second coming of Jesus Christ or the devil or whatever. I mean, look, if he has indeed resurrected, okay, he has to have some kind of supernatural he who walks behind the rose powers or whatever. Like that would be cool, and like let him actually be like an undead supernatural villain. But
I'll go out and say it. Hold on. Just like I think that we're missing something key here. I think that we need to start having people turning into corn now. Like we need to have people with corn kernels on their body because they are one
Corn
with the
body
corn.
horror. I agree.
Mhm.
I completely agree.
Yeah, they should have had Gabriel straining as like kernels of corn come out of his face.
He smiles
Blood.
and his teeth are corn.
or blood, like you know how like they turn blood into creamed corn in Fire Walk with Me,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
get some Garmonbosia in here,
Yeah.
Anyway, so the place's about to blow up, and so they're running away, and they try to save Jake, but Jake decides not to leave, and so they just leave him to die. And we'll never figure out what
Rachel actually tells him tells Hannah, no, leave him.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah,
We'll
that was funny, like I mean,
After convincing her to spare Isaac's life, it was like, well, all life isn't predator. I just didn't want you to
Jake is
kill that
annoying.
guy.
Jake is annoying. We don't need him. He's dead weight. But we'll never find out who he was and what his deal was. I'm just gonna assume he was Isaac. I mean Malachi. This makes the most sense to why he would even be a part of any of this.
Why would he want to be left behind?
It's funny actually the way that they even filmed that explosion. I don't even think they had enough money for a real explosion because like the way that right, like because the last thing you see is Jake turning and then there's like a bright flash of light and then next thing and then they cut to them like outside, right? So
I think enough for like a little passageway burst and that was it.
Yeah.
They're hoping that like whoever rented this movie is asleep at this
yeah.
point. They don't expect them to be still watching.
I was almost.
I mean, the movie doesn't even feel like it really ends because, like, you get the non-explosion, and then it's just like narration over like the sun.
Yep, I'm pregnant, and who knows what's gonna happen with my baby? You know, like
Gabriel's narration, like the seed has been sown. So it's 2 movies in a row where like pregnancy is like, ooh, you should never get pregnant.
But also, like, kind of a cliffhanger that I assume we're never gonna, see Hannah's baby.
Have we seen the Germans yet? Like that's your answer.
They come back in the same movie.
You know,
Right.
I feel like if you wanted to, you can make a sequel to all of these movies in one
Sure.
sequel. Just have it called Mayhem, Chaos of the Corn.
Children of the Children of the Corn.
But yeah, you're
Bountiful
right.
harvest.
This doesn't really happen. It really doesn't have ending because even the scene of them being outside the hospital is like overlaid with like other stuff. It's like it feels like B-roll. That's like okay, let's just have them be outside.
I think they just ran out of budget. They're
Well,
just like, we just gotta end this.
I knew this movie was such hot bullshit because the movie opens with the sun rising over the hill, and then the movie ends with that same footage being reversed to symbolize the sun setting. And I was like, "Oh, fuck you!"
That's
Did you guys catch that?
Yes.
Yeah, it makes you think.
Right? Yeah,
Bullshit.
he who suns the set is what happened there.
Anyway, so everyone Gatlin is dead at this point for the 4th time in a row. And what did we learn?
Don't let Isaac come back. That was a mistake.
He's still alive, so he could probably. John Franklin, I forgive you if you make another one. You know that actually.
No, don't encourage this.
We need a 7-year-old Isaac.
I'm
Beware
sure he's
false
very happy.
prophets and all that.
It's,
that's what beware false prophets.
It's a sequel that ignores this one, like how they have the different Halloween starting points, where it's like this is just a sequel to the first one. Yeah,
I think that they should. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, just do that, but for Children of the Corn, where it's like they ignore this one and they just kind of just like redo
To be fair,
it.
this one kind of ignores everything. It kind of ignores 2. You know,
it ignores 2 and 3, and I mean,
kind of ignores
all
one.
of them. Yeah,
it kind of ignores one a little bit. Yeah.
Well, look, I think
a different version of one happened.
Look, I think horror movies just tend to generally be very selective about continuity. I mean, I love seeing like a 2-part horror film. Like you'll see Halloween 1 and then Halloween 2, and they almost immediately retcon, right? Like right off the bat, what you saw in the ending of the preceding movie, even though it's supposed to be like a direct continuation of it, right? So I feel that's just kind of par the course, you know?
Yeah.
Well, it's part of the course, but for this franchise, it had been an anthology franchise pretty much. So like, it's weird that like, I mean, I know why, because like, having John Franklin involved, that he's just be like, yeah, well, my character is important, but like, there was never any connective tissue really before.
Well, we've all been sarcastically being excited for this film, right? Like we've been just going like, hell yeah, Isaac's coming back.
I was really excited.
I thought at least if it was bad, Isaac would be like a presence, and for one fleeting moment he is. But then it's such bullshit. The entire thing is such bullshit. It's like that's what makes it extra disappointing because you do see the glimmer of what it could have been.
But like I'm going a step further and saying like that's how bad this franchise is, where it's like Isaac's all that we have to look forward to, and then it can't even deliver on that, right? Like, and my argument of this franchise, has it ever been good? Like it still stands, right? Like I do think that the closest this franchise has ever gotten to working in quotations was 3. Still, you know,
3 and 4 are the closest to being good to me. Yeah,
3 and 5.
At least they know what they are, right?
They do. There was a sense of
they're trying.
And I don't know. They were unified in a way that that the other movies haven't been, right? Like at least they seem to know kind of what they're doing, even if they don't always have the time or the resources.
There's an identity that they're trying to make for themselves with those.
Yeah.
And the other ones are like all over the place. Earlier ones feel like they're at odds, that they're in conflict with each other. or end with
Mhm.
themselves. It's like it's strange. So I think that 3 and 4 are like at the top of my list at this point. Like, I don't think that's gonna change. I don't know. Maybe Revelations will, and that's a great subtitle. That's the mark of quality. A
Is
sequel
that the
called.
one with Michael Ironside? Because I know that's going to be the last one with anybody who's recognizable.
Let me see here. Children of the Corn. Okay, what was this? Yes.
Revelations. Yeah,
Yeah.
Michael Ironside. Excited for that one.
I hope he's the voice of He Who Walks Behind the Rose or something. That'd be good. Just,
Mm.
Oh, he plays a priest. Good.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
just glad he's not an old doctor who works in a cavernous hospital.
The only doctor who
Yeah.
just keep that going. Every time I want to see more people.
Update the bingo card.
I want to see larger and larger hospitals and only like one doctor.
Larger and larger doctors as well. Like they get fatter and fatter.
Yes.
I'm not coming back for more of these. This is my last one. Yeah.
That's
Seamless
fair.
transition.
That's fair. That's fair. We'll tell
Yeah,
you if Revelation was good, though.
Yeah.
Like
I
you will be
appreciate
missed
that.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's more of a time-like thing. I'm just legitimately after this, like I'm becoming. I'm not gonna have like the time to do that until, like maybe until like the end of June or something. So
Right.
yeah. So sadly, but this has been fun so far. I will say that, and I was surprisingly impressed by some of these entries that I hadn't seen. I mean, really, the third movie, I'm just like, man, I wish I had seen this years ago. I wish I had seen the fifth one years ago, because for me, that's the second best one.
Right.
But this was just, I think, especially coming after all of that, like this was a real letdown.
Yeah. No, I agree. And so it's the first time. The other ones have been boring. The other ones have been bad. But this is the first time one of these has left me depressed.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
hope is
That's
lost. But again, better batting average, because like at least we're like 2 movies in when I got severely depressed from Scream. So you know what? Is that Children of the Corn better than Scream as a franchise? I don't know.
At least the baseline thrills and chills have been funnier to talk about. Like Scream has been like really horrendous at points, but then again, nothing has been as enjoyable as Scream 3 in that sense, and cheese and in camp, right?
Yeah,
If
fun
Children
movie.
of the Corn could get to Scream season 3, then maybe we'll have something,
Yeah. Hey, you know what? There's always Revelation, and then what the next thing's called? Revelation.
Genesis.
Yeah, Genesis.
Jay and Silent Bob should be in one of these. Like
So-
they should pull a Scream.
But
Oh.
so here's actually a good thing I wanted to bring up. Okay, so after Revelation, there's the sci-fi remake, a sci-fi channel remake. Should we watch that?
8 years later.
Yes, but that's before Dimension loses the rights still. So
And there's another remake after that as well, right?
correct. Yeah. So I want
Wikipedia refers to it as a reboot, though.
So I want to ask then. All right, do you guys want to do the entire Dimension series and then the 2 remakes, or do you want to do them in order they came out?
So wait, so there are sequels that come out after the
Because
reboots?
because Revelation and then the sci-fi remake and then Dimension still did Genesis and Runaway after.
Personally, I think we should go in chronological order, because we all know how this series has no thematic or chronological coherency. So like Genesis and Revelations, like we're going to start those, and they're going to have nothing to do with Isaac's return or even Gatlin to begin with.
All right, so I agree. I say, I want to make sure we're on the same page. But anyway, anyone else any other thoughts on Isaac's return?
I just think it's telling that because apparently when John Franklin and his writing partner pitched it to Dimension, the executives were like, "Great, we're running out of ideas." So, like that, this is 6 movies in that they're like, whatever, like. We got nothing. We just need to keep putting these out. So it does make me a little wary about like, okay, so now they're out of ideas.
Yes, exactly. That's a great point in the fact that they let this happen because they didn't have they really had nothing better to do. Nothing.
And just to build off of that too, right? Like the next one comes out in 2 years after this, and then they don't make another Children of the Corn for 8 years,
and not
right?
even
Like
made
they
by
are
them.
exactly. So they're really scraping the bottom of the barrel at this point.
Dimension doesn't make one until 10 years later.
That's insane.
I found an interview with Franklin where he states that actually the idea with Isaac's return was to end the series, and apparently it made so much money that they decided
How
to
is
keep
it
it
ending?
going.
How is this an ending?
Who is seeing Isaac return and going, "Oh my god, finally!"
The end of the trilogy. You know,
Mhm.
I was making that like as a joke, but like this is not ending.
The sun sets. Okay, you saw
Yeah.
it rise, and then it's set.
The
That's
story's
the end.
over.
Isaac is dead, and obviously everyone knew that Isaac was the most important character.
It
So when
came
he's
full
dead, the story ends.
circle.
When the story-
Isaac comes out on screen and he's in a bathrobe and he's like, "What are you doing here?
It's
You're still
over."
here. It's over. Go home."
I want to reply to the question of how is this an ending. I believe that it used to be that, horror movies, they would regularly end in cliffhangers but without the idea of there ever being a continuation. So they weren't cliffhangers in the traditional sense. It was just
But like
always
it's not. But what makes it a narratively, entertaining ending in any sense? Not even just the
Oh.
very actual literal ending.
Yeah, I have no idea. I guess just
The baby.
Isaac is
She's
Isaac is
pregnant.
dead.
Isaac is
that's
dead.
it. That's it.
Everyone knows there's no franchise about Isaac.
No, but Doug was right. It's about the baby. They're trying to be like, "Oh no, there's this baby that's going to be out there," but it doesn't even. They don't even at any point have any exposition about this baby being evil. They just say that the baby needs to happen.
The baby's
They're just-
gonna be like the future of the human race, like I don't know, like superhuman corn people or whatever.
I do love though is
Corn
that
cobs for feet.
I love that on some, much like Leprechaun, I do think that they lost rights to Isaac's face because on some releases of Children of the Corn Isaac's Return, Isaac's face is replaced by a baby's face.
That's really funny. That is amazing.
So I do like Leprechaun, where you have new releases that did not show or heavily edit and distort Jennifer Aniston's face. I think that they also maybe they don't have the rights to John Franklin's likeness anymore.
Maybe that's the key, right? Because like all of these movies, they keep going older with these kids, right? No, they need to get younger. They need to be infants. Yeah, the babies are killing the adults. That would be scary.
Yeah.
Babies of the Corn. That's a scary movie.
Anyway, so Isaac's Return. No last thoughts.
Fetus of the Corn. Go even younger.
Shall we do a discussion about like all of the corn elements and everything that?
Yes, right.
Bingo.
Yes, the bingo. Okay, here we go. Cornfield. Yes. Corn-based kills.
No.
There's a scythe, but that's farm equipment.
Farm-based
Yeah.
kills. Yes. Brunette little boy who speaks weird. No. Any little kid that speaks weird. No.
There's
No,
just kids
wait.
laughing.
Okay, there was a little bit of that. It's more like prophecy. You've got those weird kids. I think it's.
They speak. They mostly like just laugh and grumble.
I also want to say that like they're not pivotal to the plot, right? Because like before that would have been like a point that we would leave for like a character who was integral to the plot who was doing that. But in this movie, there is no kid who's doing that that's integral to the plot.
Exactly.
So that's why I'd say maybe it's not worth the point.
Okay. So prophetic drawings, no. But she does have The Shining, so yes. Beating up kids, no.
No, disappointingly.
He Walks Behind the Rose. Finally, we're back on the board here. Bad possession effects. No. Religion, yes. Climax in a cornfield.
No.
Choral chanting, a little bit.
Yeah.
Killing adults. No, not really. I mean, adults.
People die, but it's not ideological.
Exactly. The adult stuff really doesn't come up at all, and it's really shocking. Like she's like, I lost my husband because of you. Well, one, you helped sacrifice him because he turned 19. So that should be something that you discuss.
The problem with these Children of the Corn is they're not ideologically consistent.
Exactly. I'm really shocked that they would be so slapdash about religion like this.
What does Isaac even believe?
He's not about it anymore. He's all about power. I'm about the real stuff. I'm the real Isaac, really. Anyway, so yeah, that's our bingo. Anything else? Anything else?
Child preachers.
No, we did. That's the bird. That's the bird little boy. None here.
Oh, okay. I get. Yeah, I guess not.
And that's it. We should probably add pregnancy cliffhanger because it's been the plot of 2 movies.
Right. Yeah, and like the conception equals end of the world / future threat.
Get an abortion.
That's what it is. Yeah, just get an abortion, plainly.
That's what the movie is saying, right? It's very pro-choice movies. These movies are.
But it can't even show the evil baby. It's just the abstract concept of the evil child. I mean, it's like
imagine a bad baby.
It's 666. It wants you to think about the Omen, but at least they show you Damien like looking at you at the end of the Omen, so
and
you're
being
like,
evil.
Scary. But they're just like, no, just in your mind, picture a baby. It's bad.
The seed has been sown.
It's like H.P. Lovecraft. It's like you don't even want to imagine what this baby's like.
This baby's so fucked up.
This baby had 2 white parents. To be white. To be a millennial. Could believe in crypto. Oh my god!
Get really into mustaches and bacon.
Oh my god! Speaking of sequels, that just to have this annoying ass kid of Hannah's. All right. You know what? John Franklin, ring me up. Okay, we got a new one.
He's still around. Let's do it.
You guys can do that. I'm gonna call the guy who did the House movies. We're gonna get House 5 going.
House 5 is the secret sequel to Children of the Corn. I see it. Anyway,
crossover.
So, any other thoughts before we round up here?
I'm good.
All right. So, Tony, let's see where you can find you.
You can find me right there at Poor Old Rolo Tony, and I'm also a co-host on the show that Doug and I do. I co-host These Guys Got Juice with him. And I'm also going to be doing 2 Cent Film Critic, a new episode coming soon. That's about it for me.
All right. So, Doug, what about you? Where can we find you?
You can find me here at the Doug Files on Twitter, and then also, like Tony said, These Guys Got Juice. We just wrapped up our Pitt season 2 coverage, and we got a lot of cool movies and guests lined up coming out. So check it out.
All right, and Mikhail, where can we find you?
I'm at MLS532 on X, and I have a newsletter, Textual Variations, at Substack.com. And I am hoping to publish a really, really big article about Morbius. I talk about that all the time. Now I'm finally doing it. So hopefully before Spider-Man Brand New Day comes out, it'll be ready.
Hell yeah.
All right, so we're halfway through. We're past the midway point. It's easy street for now. It's like going downhill, man. Easy street. Every single one, we're like, it's closer to being over. I'm excited.
That's the way to look at it. It's
like
a Band-Aid. It's like a Band-Aid slowly being ripped off.
It would be more time to turn back now.
At this point, it would be a stupid decision for us not to do it.
Exactly.
I'm just realizing. I'm just realizing. Like our discussions of these movies last longer than the actual movies, right?
Oh, yeah. The movies keep getting shorter and shorter. That's what's gonna make it easier. Like I feel like hope the next couple are just like 60 minutes or barely.
Like seriously, this is like a clean 70 minutes where you don't include like.
But it felt. It didn't breeze by. It wasn't like a tight 70.
I'm like halfway expecting like I'm gonna turn on one of these and it's just like a collection of like copyright free Three Stooges cartoons because they just didn't have the money to film anything original.
It's funny. I could swear I have occasionally seen some like really low budget B movies, and it's like they clearly are taking clips from like blockbuster films every once in a while. Like I remember I watched something that was clearly grabbing footage left and right from Terminator 2. It was hilarious.
All right. So see you again next week, and best of luck, Mikhail. But we're gonna see.
It's great having you on.
What happens with Children of Corn Revelation, that all new terror-filled chapter, still based on a story by Stephen King. So mark quality. See you again next week as we see what the fuck is going on with that one, man. I'm spent. See you next week.
Sam Fisher's in it. It's gonna be good.
All right. See you
Splinter
guys.
Cell.